Welcome to Legacy Coins USA, the channel where history meets hidden value and every coin tells a powerful story. United States today, we're uncovering the truth behind America's most talked about Washington coins, the legends, the myths, and the real value that collectors need to know. Before you spend or ignore that old coin in your pocket or piggy bank, stay with us, because in this video we reveal the top 6 Washington dollar coins, what makes them special, and why knowledge, not hype, is the real key to building wealth through coins. Let's dive into the legacy, the history, and the value you don't want to miss. Money bag. Let's get started. First up, the coin you're describing is a Washington quarter dated 1980 with a P mint mark, struck by the United States Mint in Philadelphia. It bears the familiar inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and Quarter Dollar. This coin is part of the long-running Washington Quarters series that began in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1980, this design was already deeply woven into everyday American life, circulating in pockets, vending machines, and cash registers across the country, symbolizing stability and trust in U.S. currency rather than rarity or sudden fortune. Historically, the Washington Quarter was originally intended as a one-year commemorative coin in 1932, but its popularity led the U.S. Mint to continue the design indefinitely. The obverse portrait of George Washington was sculpted by John Flanagan and remains one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. By the time your 1980 P quarter was minted, the coin had undergone a major change in composition. Since 1965, quarters were no longer made of silver but instead of a copper-nickel clad structure. This shift marked a new era in U.S. coins, reflecting economic realities rather than precious metal value. The 1980 P quarter was produced in extremely large numbers, hundreds of millions were struck, to meet everyday commerce needs. Because of this massive mintage, it is considered a common circulation coin, not a rare one. In normal circulated condition, its value today is 25 cents, exactly what it says on the coin. Even in uncirculated condition, most 1980 P quarters are typically worth 50 cents to a few dollars, depending on preservation and demand. This reality is important, because many viral stories online dramatically exaggerate the value of modern coins and create false hope of overnight wealth. Claims that bicentennial or modern Washington quarters are worth millions or tens of millions of dollars are almost always misinformation. The true bicentennial quarters were minted in 1975 to 1976, not 1980, and feature a drummer boy on the reverse. Even those coins, unless struck in rare silver-proof varieties in perfect condition, are generally worth only a few dollars. No verified sale in U.S. numismatic history supports the idea that a regular circulation Washington quarter, bicentennial or otherwise, has sold for anywhere near $1 million, let alone $45 million. Such numbers belong to legendary coins like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, not pocket change. That said, coins can become extremely valuable under very specific circumstances. Errors such as dramatic off-metal strikes, double denominations, or unique mint mistakes can create high-value collectibles, but these are exceptionally rare and require professional authentication. A normal 1980 P quarter with no unusual errors, even in excellent condition, does not fall into this category. Real numismatic wealth is built through knowledge, patience, and verified rarity, not viral headlines or emotional promises. The emotional appeal of "check your piggy bank and become a billionaire overnight" resonates because it taps into hope and nostalgia. Coins feel personal, they pass through generations, sit in jars on shelves, and carry the quiet belief that something ordinary might secretly be extraordinary. While that dream has come true for a tiny handful of collectors holding genuinely rare coins, the vast majority of U.S. coins in circulation, including the 1980 P quarter, were made to be used, not hidden away as future treasure. Understanding the real story behind American coins actually deepens their value in a different way. A 1980 P quarter reflects the economic climate of late 20th century America, the shift away from silver, and the industrial scale of U.S. minting. It tells a story of everyday Americans, inflation, vending machines, payphones, and a country moving through the final decades of the Cold War. That historical context is authentic and meaningful, even if it doesn't come with unimaginable wealth. If you truly believe a coin might be special, the responsible path is professional evaluation through reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC, not assumptions based on online claims. certified rarity, documented errors, and proven auction records are what create real value. Without those, spending a common quarter won't cost you a fortune because it never represented one in the first place. Coins should never be feared or hoarded blindly. Knowledge protects collectors far more than rumors. While it's wise to examine old coins carefully, it's equally important to separate fact from fantasy. The U.S. coin market is transparent, well-documented, and driven by rarity and condition, not dramatic stories designed for clicks and shares. In the end, your 1980p Washington quarter is not a ticket to instant billions, but it is a genuine piece of American history, struck during a transformative era and used by millions of people across the nation. Its real worth lies in understanding where it came from, what it represents, and how numismatics truly works. That knowledge, grounded, honest, and enduring, is far more valuable than any false promise of overnight fortune. Next up. Coin number 2. The 1982p Washington quarter, stamped with Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and the denomination quarter dollar, is a coin you've held thousands of times, maybe without ever realizing its place in American history. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1982, this quarter belongs to a long-running series honoring George Washington, America's first president. The design, created by John Flanagan in 1932, was originally a special commemorative for Washington's 200th birthday. Its popularity, though, carried the design into everyday circulation for decades, making it one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. Unlike early quarters made from 90% silver, the 1982p quarter was produced on a copper-nickel-clad core, a change made in 1965 to preserve precious metals during economic shifts. This means that, unlike rare silver coins, your 1982 quarter was created for commerce, meant to buy gum, pay for parking, and sit in jars and cash registers across America. Millions of these coins were minted, and millions were used, lost, saved, and forgotten, which is part of the everyday magic of coin collecting. Ordinary pieces of metal become carriers of American life and economy. There's a powerful emotional pull in the idea that casual pocket change could suddenly be worth millions or make someone a billionaire overnight, and that's been the seed of countless viral headlines. The truth is rooted in numismatic reality, not sensationalism. Most Washington quarters from this era, including 1982p, are common circulation pieces. Their typical value today, even in excellent condition, is still around 25 cents to a few dollars for collectors who enjoy mint-state coins. That's real, verified, and honest, because coin value is driven by rarity, condition, and demand, not by internet hype. When you hear stories claiming a regular quarter is worth $50 million or can unlock unimaginable wealth, you're hearing dramatic storytelling, not documented sales. There are ultra-rare U.S. coins that have soared into the millions, like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle or unique error coins with one-of-a-kind traits authenticated by major grading services, but those are historically distinct and extremely limited. Nothing in the standard 1982p production run meets that category. What can make a 1982 quarter more valuable is a significant mint error, for example, a dramatic double strike, off-metal planchet, or major die break that's authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Those specific error coins are fascinating because they tell a story of a minting moment gone awry and accident frozen in metal that collectors deeply prize. But those are the exceptions, not the rule, and they must be examined and certified by professionals to command premium prices at auction. The magic of coin collecting isn't in imagining that every pocket coin is a hidden jackpot, but in discovering stories behind the coins you find. A 1982p quarter carries the marks of its era, the economic shifts of late 20th century America, the transition away from precious metals, and the sheer scale of U.S. coin production. It connects you to everyday Americans who used the same design to make change at diners, laundromats, and phone booths now long gone. If you're holding coins from old piggy banks or that pile gathering dust in a drawer, it's absolutely worth a look, because you never know what's in your collection. A rare proof, an unusual die variation, or a misstrike can be genuinely exciting discoveries. But the first step is careful, informed examination and professional evaluation, not assumption. Letting a trained eye inspect your find can reveal surprises even seasoned collectors might miss. Beware of dramatic claims on social media that deliberately blur the line between possible and practically likely. The coin world is filled with real treasures, but it's also filled with everyday coins that are valuable for historical and sentimental reasons rather than instant fortune. Understanding the real market is how serious collectors protect their investments and build true collections over time. So, take a moment to sift through your coins with curiosity and care. The 1982 P quarter is a piece of America's economic story, and while it may not be the mythical golden ticket to wealth beyond measure, it is a gateway into the fascinating world of numismatics, filled with real rarities, real value, and genuine excitement for those who learn the craft. In the world of coins, knowledge is your greatest treasure. A common quarter can lead you to uncommon wisdom, and that wisdom can make every discovery, big or small, feel like a fortune. Your 1982 P isn't just metal, it's history in your hand, waiting to be understood. Next up. Coin number 3. The 1985 P Washington Quarter, engraved with Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and quarter dollar, is one of the most familiar coins in American wallets, jars, and piggy banks. Struck in 1985 at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin was part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design by John Flanagan became so beloved that it continued as the everyday quarter for generations. By 1985, the Washington Quarter had become woven into the fabric of everyday life, used for everything from vending machines to bus fares. Unlike earlier quarters that contained silver, the 1985 P quarter is made of copper-nickel clad, a switch the U.S. Mint made in 1965 to conserve silver during times when metal values threatened the coin supply. That change means the coin doesn't carry precious metal value on its face, but it does carry the historical imprint of the era in which it circulated. Millions of these coins were produced, and millions were spent, saved, and tucked away in collections and collections of change. This widespread circulation makes the 1985 P quarter a common coin in the eyes of numismatists. Across social media and viral headlines, you'll see emotional claims that a quarter like the 1985 P could be worth $40 million, make someone a billionaire overnight, or magically change your fortune. These stories are crafted for attention and engagement, but they're not grounded in documented numismatic value. The real market for coins is driven by rarity, condition, and verified auction results, and there is no confirmed record of a standard 1985 P quarter selling for anything close to millions of dollars. Most circulated examples today are still worth face value, 25 cents, and even many uncirculated pieces trade in the low dollars. That said, what can make a coin exceptionally valuable is a rare error or unique variation. Coins that leave the mint with dramatic mistakes, such as off-metal planchets, severely doubled dies, or striking problems that make them one of a kind, can attract serious attention from collectors and fetch significant sums. But these coins are extremely rare, and each must be authenticated and graded by trusted services like PCGS or NGC before anyone can even begin to talk about high value. Without professional verification, a quarter is just a quarter. The emotional connection people feel to coins, especially ones they grew up with, makes stories of hidden treasures irresistible. We all love the idea that a forgotten coin jar might hold a fortune, that a piece of metal we've overlooked could suddenly unlock unimaginable wealth. But the real value in coin collecting comes from knowledge and discovery, not unfounded hype. A coin's story is deeper and far more fascinating than any headline's promise of instant riches. When you hold a 1985 P quarter, you're touching a piece of American history. It represents the economy of the mid-1980s, a time of cultural change, technological growth, and shifting monetary landscapes. Coins like this pass through millions of hands, children receiving them as allowance, commuters feeding them into parking meters, families saving them for future dreams. That real, human history is itself a kind of treasure, connecting us to moments in everyday life that textbooks and headlines often overlook. If you're curious whether a coin in your collection is valuable, the responsible way to find out is to have it examined by experts. Reputable coin dealers, numismatic societies, and grading services can give you answers grounded in market reality. They can tell you if you truly have something rare, or if your coin is one of the millions made for regular circulation. That clarity protects you from misinformation and helps you understand the true worth, not the imagined worth, of what you're holding. Beware of sensational claims that urge you not to spend your coins because they might be worth millions. Those claims may be crafted to get clicks, shares, and attention, but they often distort facts. Legitimate rare coins that reach high auction prices are well documented and widely reported in numismatic communities. They are not secret fortunes waiting to be discovered in every pocket change pile. So take a deep breath and approach your coin collection with curiosity and care. Yes, dig into old jars and drawers, you never know what you might find, but also educate yourself about what makes coins valuable in the real world. The authentic thrill of coin collecting lies in uncovering true rarities, learning the stories behind designs, and connecting with a history that spans generations. In the end, your 1985 P. Washington quarter is not a miraculous key to instant billionaire status, but it is a fascinating piece of American currency with a story worth exploring. Treat it as history in your hand, understand its real context, and enjoy the journey of discovery that real numismatics offers. Next up. Coin number 4. The 1989 P. Washington quarter, inscribed with Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and quarter dollar, is one of the coins that has circulated through everyday American life for decades. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1989, it carries a design originally created in 1932 by John Flanagan to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. That design became so beloved that it continued in everyday use long after the commemorative year, and by 1989 millions and millions of these quarters were being released into circulation. They fed parking meters, bought candies, and were saved in jars and piggy banks across the country, simple, familiar, and dependable. Unlike the silver quarters of earlier U.S. history, the 1989 P quarter was made from a copper-nickel clad composition, copper at its core with outer layers of nickel and copper. This change was instituted in 1965 when rising silver prices made it impractical to continue minting coins with precious metals. This means that the value of most 1989 quarters in everyday condition is tied to their face value of 25 cents and their appeal to collectors, rather than any innate metal worth. Across the internet, you'll find emotionally charged claims saying that coins like this are worth 40 million, 50 million, or even more, that you could become a billionaire overnight simply by discovering one in a coin jar. Those headlines are crafted to grab attention and go viral, not to reflect verified numismatic reality. In the real coin market, standard circulation 1989 P quarters are common, and even in mint state, they typically sell for just a few dollars at most. There is no documented sale of a regular 1989 quarter fetching anywhere near tens of millions of dollars in reputable auctions. That said, the world of coin collecting does contain astonishing rarities, unique pieces that have sold for extraordinary sums. Famous coins like the 1804 silver dollar, the 1913 Liberty head nickel, or the 1933 St. Gaudens double eagle have reached multi-million-dollar prices at auction because of their extreme rarity and unique stories. But none of those coins resemble a standard 1989 P quarter, and none were widely circulated like yours was. Where things get interesting, and where real value can hide, is in mint errors and rare variations. If a quarter is struck on the wrong planchet, has severe doubling, dramatic off-center striking, or other major anomalies, that specific coin can attract strong collector interest. Even then, to be worth big money, the error must be authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Without that authentication, a coin is simply an interesting piece of metal with a story, not a fortune. The emotional pull of these hidden fortune stories comes from something very real. Coins connect us to memories, families, and time itself. We remember the sound of quarters clinking in a jar at home, the excitement of finding an old coin while cleaning, or the curiosity of a child learning about presidents and history through pocket change. That emotional resonance is powerful, and it's what prompts people to imagine that their pocket change might secretly be a treasure chest. Let's dig into the real story of your 1989 quarter. It reflects the economic and cultural world of late 20th century America, a country that had moved away from precious metals in circulation, that relied on durable and cost-effective coinage, and that saw these coins pass through countless hands. It's a tangible piece of history. Its everyday nature is itself a testament to the growth and stability of U.S. currency over decades. If you truly want to know whether a coin in your collection is special, the responsible first step is examination by a reputable coin dealer or grading service. They can spot genuine errors, rare die variations, or uncirculated gems that command higher prices. They can tell you what is real and what is hype. That knowledge protects you from disappointment, misinformation, and the kind of sensational claims that make headlines but rarely hold true upon scrutiny. Don't let anyone tell you that you should never spend a coin like this because it is guaranteed to make you rich. No coin expert, auction record, or numismatic reference supports the idea that a regular 1989 P quarter is secretly worth tens of millions of dollars. The real treasure lies in understanding the coin's journey, where it came from, how it was made, and why millions of Americans used it in everyday life. That story enriches your appreciation far more reliably than any viral promise of sudden wealth. In the end, your 1989 P Washington quarter is a piece of American history that could be part of a meaningful coin collection, and it might hold surprises if it has rare characteristics, but it's not a hidden ticket to instant billions. What is truly valuable is the curiosity it inspires, the history it carries, and the adventure of discovering what makes some coins genuinely rare and valuable. That's the real story worth telling on your channel, and that's the treasure every true collector cherishes. Next up, coin number 5. The 1995 P Washington quarter you're holding, stamped with Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and quarter dollar, is a piece of American monetary history that has passed through millions of hands. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1995, this quarter was part of the everyday currency of the United States, the change your parents handed you, your first piggy bank stash, the coins you dropped in vending machines and toll booths. The portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan in 1932 for the bicentennial of his birth, became so iconic that it stayed in regular circulation for decades. By 1995, that image was so familiar it felt like part of the national identity, trustworthy, historic, and constant. Unlike early quarters made from almost pure silver, the 1995 P quarter is made of copper-nickel clad, a sandwich of metals meant to be durable and practical for everyday commerce. This shift began in 1965, when silver prices made it economically unsustainable for the U.S. Mint to use precious metals in coins meant for broad circulation. Because of this, the metal content of your 1995 P quarter does not give it inherent bullion value. Its worth comes from history, collector interest, and condition, rather than the melt value of the metal itself. Across the internet you'll find sensational claims that regular quarters like this are worth $50 million, that they can make someone a billionaire overnight, and that every old coin jar might hold a hidden treasure. Those headlines are designed to hook attention and go viral, but the real numismatic market, the one monitored by professional collectors, auction houses, and grading services, is grounded in verifiable facts. In truth, a typical 1995 P Washington quarter in circulated condition is still worth face value 25 cents. Even uncirculated examples mint state 60 to 70 grade typically sell for just a few dollars on the collector market. There's simply no credible record of a regular 1995 P quarter selling for millions. That said, rare coins do exist, genuine rarities that have sold for extraordinary sums. Legendary coins like the 1794 flowing hair dollar, the 1913 Liberty head nickel, or the 1933 St. Gaudens double eagle have fetched millions because they are extremely scarce and historically significant. But those coins are not everyday circulation pieces, they are unique or nearly unique artifacts of early U.S. minting, with deep provenance and documented rarity. A standard 1995 P quarter doesn't automatically fall into that category. Where true value can lurk in a seemingly ordinary coin is in major mint errors or unique variations. Imagine a quarter that was struck off-center by more than half the coin, or one that was struck on the wrong metal planchet entirely. These anomalies create one-of-a-kind coins that serious collectors seek out. A misstrike or dramatic doubling that's authenticated by trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC can indeed command prices well above face value. But these are exceptions, a tiny fraction of all coins minted, and each must be examined and graded with care. The power of these hidden treasure stories taps into something universal, the dream that something forgotten in a drawer or piggy bank might change your life. It's the hope that a moment of discovery could unlock unimaginable wealth. That emotional pull is real, and it's what fuels millions of clicks and shares on social media, but it's also why so many people get disappointed when they learn the truth. Most coins are simply not rare in the extraordinary sense required to command multi-million-dollar prices. Yet the real story of your 1995 P quarter is meaningful in its own right. This coin is a snapshot of American life in the mid-1990s, the economy of a booming decade, the trust in familiar symbols, and the millions of daily transactions powered by small change. It connected everyday people, from school kids to commuters to business owners. As a piece of material culture, it carries the weight of authentic American experience, and for many collectors, that narrative is far more compelling than any inflated fortune claim. If you're genuinely curious whether a coin in your collection might be valuable, the best path is education and expert evaluation. A reputable coin dealer or grading service can help you determine whether your coin has an unusual characteristic, a rare error, or a higher grade than average. That professional insight is what separates authentic discovery from wishful thinking, and it protects you from the emotional roller coaster of internet hype. Beware of headlines that urge you not to spend your coins because they're secret jackpots. Those claims are rarely backed by authenticated sales or auction records. True coin values are documented, cataloged, and verified by experts, the same people who authenticate rare pieces and help serious collectors build real collections. A standard 1995 P quarter, without authenticated rarity or error, simply doesn't meet the criteria that would send its price into the stratosphere. In the end, your 1995 P Washington quarter is not a hidden million-dollar ticket, but it is a tangible piece of U.S. history, and it might be the first step on a fascinating journey into numismatics. Coins like this connect us to everyday moments, historic design, and the stories of people who used them long before we did. That genuine connection to history, to craft, and to discovery is a kind of treasure all its own, and it's worth celebrating, sharing, and exploring with passion. Last. Coin number 6. The 1998 P Washington quarter, with Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and $quarter stamped on its face, is one of the most familiar coins in American circulation from the late 20th century. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint in a year when the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters, it continued a tradition that began in 1932 to honor George Washington, a design originally created to commemorate the bicentennial of his birth. That portrait by John Flanagan became so deeply loved that it was used for over 6 decades, making the Washington quarter an icon of everyday American money. By 1998, the Washington quarter was no longer a novelty or a rare collector's piece, it was everyday currency. The coin is made of copper nickel clad, a composition adopted in 1965 when rising silver prices made it impractical to continue using precious metals in regular circulation coins. That means your 1998 P quarter doesn't contain any significant silver or gold content. It was designed for utility, not intrinsic metal value. Yet even ordinary coins carry stories, and the 1998 quarter reflects the America of its time, a stable economy, routine commerce, and a public accustomed to handing quarters to pay for parking meters, toll booths, and vending machines. Despite this common background, dramatic claims have circulated online suggesting that a 1998 P quarter could be worth $10 million today or that finding one in your change could make you a billionaire overnight. These sorts of stories are crafted to be emotionally gripping and highly shareable, tapping into the dream that something as ordinary as a quarter could unlock unimaginable wealth. The truth in the numismatic world, however, is more grounded. A regular circulated 1998 P Washington quarter typically remains worth its face value of 25 cents, and even in pristine, uncirculated condition it generally trades for only a few dollars among collectors. There is no credible auction record of such coins selling for anywhere near millions. But let's talk about why people hope so fiercely that their coins are worth fortunes. The coin collecting world does contain genuine treasures, coins with exceptional rarity, historical significance, or dramatic mint errors. Examples include coins like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel, the unique 1804 silver dollar, or the extremely rare 1933 St. Gaudens double eagle. These coins have fetched millions at auction because of their scarcity and their stories. They are celebrated anomalies, not everyday circulation pieces. For a 1998 P quarter to have significant value, it would need to be something other than a standard issue, perhaps a major mint error, like being struck on the wrong planchet, severely off-center, or exhibiting dramatic doubling or die breaks. Even then, such coins don't automatically become million-dollar pieces. They need to be authenticated and graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC. Without that authentication, a coin with an unusual appearance is interesting, but not officially valuable. The emotional engagement around these coins stems from more than potential monetary value, it's about history and connection. Think about the fact that your 1998 P quarter has passed through countless hands. It has changed owners at grocery stores, laundromats, and corner shops across America. It might have been in children's piggy banks or rolled up in jars in basements. Each coin carries a silent human story, a connection to everyday life that no internet myth can replicate. If you're diving into an old box of coins or that pile in the corner, it's genuinely exciting, because old coins can surprise you. Not every find will make headlines, but discovering a rare variety or authenticated error can indeed be thrilling. It's the reason serious collectors study mint marks, die varieties, and production anomalies. They're looking for authentic rarity backed by documented evidence. However, irresponsible headlines that suggest every old coin is a hidden jackpot do more harm than good. They create a false sense of hope, encouraging people to cling to ordinary coins as if they were secret fortunes. In reality, the coin market is transparent, values are documented in price guides, verified by auction results, and discussed in numismatic communities with evidence and expertise. A 1998 P Washington quarter, in its typical form, simply doesn't meet the criteria that would send its value into the millions. So here's the real story. Your 1998 P quarter is a piece of everyday American monetary history, not a guaranteed ticket to overnight wealth. Its true value lies in what it represents, a moment in time when Americans used these coins day in and day out, and the design had become a trusted symbol of the nation's currency. Those everyday stories are worth telling and preserving, and they form the backbone of real numismatic passion. If you want to know whether a coin in your collection is genuinely valuable, take it to a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service. They can tell you if it's a rare error or unusual variety that could attract collector interest. That's how real discoveries are made, not through sensational claims but through careful study and verification. Your journey into coins might uncover something special, but it starts with curiosity and ends with knowledge that's built on facts, not fantasies.